What's going on, everybody? In this video, I want to talk to you about the two things that I'm doing in my business to drastically reduce the amount of time being spent in one-to-one conversations. Okay, now about 18 months, 2 years ago, we really pushed away from sales calls, and most of our business is just done via text and chat. If we're looking at doing some type of partnership opportunity, there'll probably be a call, but it's not like a strategy session sales call. It's more like, you've got this thing, we think we can contribute this to it, and let's see what's going on. So it's not the traditional kind of sales call model. But for our main products and offerings, which we'll talk a little bit about in this video, it's mostly over text and Messenger, right? And we made that shift because, one, I didn't want to do the calls, and two, I didn't really have any interest in building up a sales room of setters and closers and all this kind of stuff. And the reality is that, look, that is a path and it works, and there's people that make a lot of money doing it. It just depends on the type of business that you want to have. I didn't want to go down that path. I managed teams in my corporate career, and I wanted to keep the business leaner. I think there's also a way to do it that builds something with more longevity and more sustainability if you can engineer what I'm going to talk about with you today. Okay, so really what I want to share with you is the two things that we're focused on to take the pressure and the weight off the one-to-one conversations, right? To reduce the number of conversations we need to have in order to make our targets, to reduce the length of those conversations, right? And to really just simplify down the process of landing, 5K, 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K clients on the back end of the business. Okay, we'll talk to you about kind of the deeper reasoning and the logic behind why this really works, and then you can let me know if you've got questions, or you can head to jacobcaris.com if you want our help engineering this in your own business as well. All right, if you haven't already, be sure to give the video a like. I think you're going to get a lot of value from it. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and leave any questions or comments that you've got below. Okay, so let's jump into this, right? I've got a very simple graphic in front of you. Okay, first one, content ecosystem, front-end offers, digital products, courses, that kind of stuff. Second one, one-to-one conversations. Third one, this is representing our business. So on the back end of my business, I've got my inner circle, small group of clients that I work directly with on helping them grow and monetize their personal brand. I've got platinum clients. They're my one-to-one clients. They're also typically in the inner circle as well. They go hand in hand. And then we've got rev share / partnership opportunities on the back end that we've done at a lot smaller level in terms of volume, obviously, and it's something that we're continuing to explore heading into 2023. Okay, so with these three pillars, let me just kind of set the scene, and then we'll talk about shifting weight and balance between them. Okay, so the green one, right, on the front end, content ecosystem, front end offers, courses, and digital products. Okay, the flow that people move through, right, when they come through our business is what you see in front of you, right? So first, what's going to happen is that they're either going to stumble across a piece of content, or they're going to get recommended to check out my stuff. They may see an ad as well, but somehow they're going to be introduced to me. That could be through someone else, that could be through an algorithm, or it could be through an ad, okay? That means that they're now introduced to the content ecosystem, okay? They could read posts on my Facebook profile. They could watch a YouTube video like you currently are. They could consume on the podcast. They could subscribe on a platform we use called Substack. They could follow along on the blog, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, right? Maybe they take one step further forward. They join the email newsletter. They join the Facebook group, okay? That's my content ecosystem, right? And after someone's been introduced, if they decide that I'm someone that they want to follow along with, they can move between those platforms where we publish and create free content. Okay, that's the first part that's important to understand here. Then typically what happens is they will purchase a product or products, right? And on the front end, we've got courses, digital products. We've just rolled out a newsletter, like a memo style thing that goes out, that will go out each month, right? They're introductory products that are all kind of sub $5,000, right? Anywhere from the memos, $27 a month, up to we've got an academy that people can kind of upgrade in, and it's south of $5,000, right, depending on the packages and stuff. So it's in that $27 to $5,000 range on the front end. Okay, different digital products, courses, those types of things, and then we'll do launches from time to time as well. I might do a masterclass, right? I might do a behind the scenes session where I talk about a particular topic. Okay, and we've got a couple of new things coming in the new year as well. But they're things that people can buy easily. They're not huge investments. And in a lot of cases, they can consume on their own self-paced digital courses, and that takes the relationship to another step. In some cases, we'll sell those things with a one-to-one chat. Sometimes the higher end of that range, you're 3, 4, if it's pushing $5,000. But in the majority of cases, people buy that without us needing to have a conversation with them because of how the ecosystem is set up. Okay, and so that's really what's happening in that first block. We got people finding us, consuming free content, deciding to buy 1 thing, 2 things, 3 things, and really getting immersed in our world that way. Okay, then from that pool of people, a percentage of people will decide to move forward, and they'll say, I'd love to be part of Jacob's Inner Circle, or I'd love to be a 1-to-1 platinum client, right? Or maybe there's an opportunity for us to partner up and do a JV deal of some kind, okay? And it's the transition from being a customer in a course or a product to that back end, Inner Circle, platinum, partnership opportunities. That's where a conversation needs to happen, right? Really to filter, make sure it's a good fit, make sure we're able to work together, make sure we're aligned in terms of what we want to achieve, make sure we can actually help them. And I know a lot of people in the industry say that they do that. For me, it's so critical. And you can ask people, I'll happily say no if I don't think it's going to be a good fit, because I don't have any interest in working with people that I'm not on the same page as, right? They're welcome to, consume our free stuff, buy stuff if they want, but if we're not on the same page, it's not going to be a good fit for me or for them to proceed to this back end. This is really like our leveraged consulting practice on the back end, okay? And so the 1-to-1 conversation there is really the bridge between those two, okay? Now, those 1-to-1 conversations can be helped in a big way by building out and putting more energy into the first and third bucket, okay? So that's where we're really big on investing our time and our energy, okay? I'll tell you why kind of individually. On the first box, the more content that we have out there is more time that people can spend with us. The more that content explains who I am, how I help people, what problems I help them overcome, the results we've achieved, the results we've helped other people achieve, my style, my sense of humor, what we tolerate, what we won't tolerate, our values, the methodologies that we apply, why we're different, where we're going as a business, all that kind of stuff. The more we put that into our content and the more content that we create, 1, people can spend more time with us, which extends that relationship. And 2, every new piece of content that they consume makes them more and more educated about what we do, and it helps them decide yes or no as to if they might want to ultimately ascend up to one of these back-end offers. Okay, and so we invest more and more time and energy into building out this ecosystem that people can move between, right? It's kind of multi-sensory because you can watch, you can listen, you can show up live in the Facebook group, you can read, right? You create this experience, or you can buy stuff, you can go through a course, implement, get results. You create this experience on the front end that is really, 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 really leveraged for you as the brand and as the business owner, because you can create a piece of content like this video and hundreds of people can see it, right? So that's why we're really big on investing energy into the front end, is because of the leverage, is because of, the evergreen nature of certain platforms like YouTube that we create on. We put this video out there and it stays there, right? We put the energy into creating a new course, or doing a live promotion that we then flip evergreen and people can buy it around the clock. So this has a ton of leverage that you just don't get in the 1-to-1 conversations. And the more that we put into this and the better and stronger and bigger that this becomes, the more heavy lifting that this will do, which is on a 1 to many scale, and takes the pressure and the weight off the 1-to-1 conversation, be that me or the team, okay? It takes the pressure off in that we don't need to have as many conversations. It takes the pressure off in that the conversations are a lot more qualified and the prospects are a lot more educated, because they've had the opportunity to move through a really robust ecosystem, be that just free content or free into paid into the conversation. If we get in a conversation with somebody that's just not ready, we can point them in the right direction via one of our front end offers or our free content in the ecosystem. And essentially it's just reducing the volume and increasing the quality of the conversations here that ultimately feeds this back end opportunity there. Okay. So that's one thing that we're big on investing energy into, because of the leverage and because of how much it takes the weight and the pressure and the time load really off the 1-to-1 conversations. Okay. The other place that we're big is, or that we're investing heavily, is on the offer side of things. Okay, now this comes in a couple of different forms. One, this is how the offer is presented and the actual strategy behind the offer, how it's packaged up, the pricing strategy, risk reversal strategies, the copywriting that goes into it when we ultimately present the offer to people, which we do with these PDF invitation docs that you guys might have heard me talk about. So there's the strategic side of the offer, the hook, the duration, the pricing strategy, all that kind of stuff. And then there's the delivery of it and the systems that go into the delivery, okay, to integrate more leverage there and make sure that people are getting everything that they need without us having to hold everybody's hand one by one through the process, be that myself or the team. Okay, so what we're really looking at here is with these 2 points of leverage, right? You got the leverage consulting practice on the back end, a couple of different offers, and on the front end offers and the ecosystem, there's a ton of leverage and leverage opportunity in these 2 pillars. There's not so much here, right? There could be if you wanted to go out and build a big team, but again, you're then going to end up managing them, and that wasn't the path that I wanted to go down. So if you're like me and you want a smaller, leaner operation, this is where you're going to be wanting to invest your time and energy, capture that energy and build out those assets and let that do a lot of the heavy lifting. Make your ecosystem more robust, have the front end offers that people can consume. That will accelerate the relationship when they go through them and actually achieve a result. They're going to be a lot more educated about what you do, which is going to improve the quality of those conversations and reduce the number of conversations that you need to have in order to hit your targets on the back end. And then back here, how you present your offer, do that in a way that you can write it up once and you can send it out to as many people as you need to, so you don't have to explain the offer over and over and over again. So you're getting leverage in the presentation of the offer, and 2, in the delivery of the offer, right? Your onboarding processes, your onboarding systems, how people can access information, right? The tools and the resources that you provide to people. You could even take that one step further, and what systems do you have in place in terms of client compounding, where people can refer new members into your world and into your ecosystem, right? Building out more and more assets, okay? This is the longer term approach. It will take longer than just spending all day or having an army of people in the DMs all day, not building any brand ecosystem and not building any delivery assets because you're spending all day selling one-to-one. If you went direct to source and you just did that all day, every day, initially you'd make more money, but you'll cap out in terms of energy or managing a big team, okay? If you want to build something for the longer run, invest your time here, and it will serve you really well. Okay, hopefully there's some insights in there for you. Appreciate you hanging out with me today. Head over to jacobcaris.com if we can be of assistance, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.